Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Are you ready to explore the unknown? Dive into the world of the strange, mysterious, and unexplained with Eerie Expeditions magazine. Each issue is packed with spine-tingling tales, cutting-edge paranormal investigations, and exclusive insights into hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just love a good ghost story, Eerie Expeditions magazine has something for you. Join our growing community of truth seekers and adventure lovers. Subscribe today at EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com and unlock the secrets of the supernatural. Are you ready? That's EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com, where the extraordinary is just a click.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 100.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Tuesday night edition of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. It is Bigfoot month, as we all know, and so far it's great, and I think to top it off, we got Mr.Wojo coming on. Richie is having problems. I'm having problems. Everyone in the world is having problems. Who in the hell knows what's going on out there? And I'm saying, hey, Mish, good to see you. Kurt, good to see you. Heidi, good to see you. I don't know what's going on. It's just totally insane. But so we got Mr.Wojo here. But before we start, hey, Ollie, I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi, and I just lost Wojo. Hopefully he'll pop in again. But so this month's sponsor, okay. Oh, hold on one second. It is Runa. And she's a psychic medium and palm reader at the Still Goat Marketplace on Rhode Island Road in Penn Hills, PA. It's a great little gift shop, and they have a beautiful plant and flower garden center. And don't forget Ladies' Night, first Thursday of the month from 5 to 8, and go see Runa to get a reading. I want to thank you, Runa, for sponsoring this month. Holy crap. So don't forget my buddy CL. She's her show, the Gateway Podcast, will be on right after mine tonight. And please, after my show, go and give her some love and go watch her show. She always has amazing guests. You know, so like I said before I started, I don't know what in the hell's going on in the air, but it's just a frustrating night. And well, it's been a frustrating month for me. But you know what? Now you're here watching into the night. So hopefully we'll have a calm show, nice little show, talk about Bigfoot and all that good stuff. Hey, Mark Eddie, good to see you, buddy. All right, so bringing on the guest. Hey, Michelle. So I'm going to bring on my guest tonight, Mr. Wojo. Again, Richie could not make it. And that's okay. We got the second part of Boots, second half of Boots on the Ground with Bigfoot hunters. Okay, now my mind is clearing up a little bit. So bear with us, guys, ladies and gents. Without further ado, Mr. Wojo. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
What's up, buddy? What a day. What a day, dude.
Oh my God. I'll tell you, I can speak on Richie's behalf. I mean, we're all having crazy days. I don't know. This 2025 has been nothing but like a headache. It's just like negative, and you try to turn negatives into positives, which we try to do.
Right.
When we just have to put in more work, I guess that's all. I think it's the shift in the earth.
I gotta be right in the universe. Something's going on. I mean, who knows what it could be, man? It could be the government. It could be God only know. Heidi says, wow, there's some funky energy out here. I'm out in the garden watering. She's got it. And that's all the way out in Colorado. Hey, Cindy Mitch, good to see you, hon. Boy, we got them all coming in tonight to hear you guys.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I got good people, man. I got good people, good followers. So, Wojo, this is Bigfoot month for into the night, and this month is strictly for Bigfoot stuff, okay? And I had to get you guys on, all right, because you're my friends. Second of all, you're Bigfoot, investigators, and I mean, it probably wouldn't have been a month if it wasn't, I could not have not forgiven myself if I didn't bring you guys on. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, thank you for the compliment.
Hey, I'm being honest, straight up, man. I'm honest. You heard of Honest Dave? I'm Honest Sean. Okay.
The way we're probably being honest. Hey.
All right, my friend. Why don't you talk? Introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, for anybody that doesn't know me, my name's Steve. I'm the Wojo. I'm the co-host of the Banter with Richie B podcast. And my host, my partner in crime, Richie B, fortunately can't make it. Let's start off with it's Bigfoot month. I've been boots on the ground. I've known Richie for like over 20 years, 25 years, and never knew that he's had Bigfoot encounters in his backyard. We played softball together for many years, and he was having a podcast. And I'm like, what's this podcast about? So I gave him a call. I go, hey, dude, what's going on here? He goes, yeah, I go, what do you got going on? He goes, I got Bigfoot in my backyard. I go, you got what? Now, I'm an avid doorsman. I'm an ex-hunter, but love being out in the woods. But Bigfoot around here? He's like, yeah. And, I'll bring you by sometime in my backyard and show you what's going on. And, next day, his producer got sick, and he's like, hey, do you want to go on an investigation out in North Central Mass? And I go, I want to see what you're seeing. And so we went out there and, didn't really find anything crazy for a while until all of a sudden I started noticing like these twisted trees. I call them twisties. Trees that are in 90-degree angles, being twisted with such torque I can't explain. And I noticed that they're like 30 yards apart, Sean. But where we are, we have these like power lines, and these trees are all aiming towards the power lines in a cone position. And I was with my friend Walter, and Richie was with his sister Patty, and I'm like, I've never seen a highway of deer in my life cut
Really?
through this area. I mean, all my years, it was just a highway. But I'm looking around by the power lines, and I could see like big. It's like hills everywhere, big rocks, and I'm just kind of like imagining, geez, is this like a kill zone or a choke point? And Richie goes, yeah, exactly. So the purpose of that is just you keep an open mind. I mean, you try to figure out what is manipulating these trees and things like that, and then as the investigation went on, then we found these huts where these pine trees were all being manipulated into three corners, and some of the pine trees, which was amazing, is that they were pulled up, snapped off the pine tree, meaning the branches. It's just that it was pulled off by its knot. I'm like that's just like incredible strength. I tried to do it, I couldn't do it. So they added on to these huts, and there were about 4 of them. And so Richie has a device in his phone called Scaniverse, which would do a 3D scan to show the depth, or we use them on prints. It'll show the depth of the prints. It'll also give you the points on the length and the width of these prints. And well, in one of the huts, it had to be about, I don't know, maybe like about 6'5" in there, but it was like pretty deep, like something was laying down in there, and so and then we found some bones laying down, and I'm just saying to myself, what am I getting myself into? So now, let's just fast forward a little over a year later. I'm still here, and I'm finding not only finding something, but hearing things and seeing things that are just off the wall. So, the last time that I spoke to you, what's been new?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
now what's new is that we have new communications. Fortunately, Richie's not here, so we could have used the studio to. We have hums. That's something that's been new, and I was with my brother Matt. He's got a 4mm, a 4K camera. It's got a pretty good sized boom, microphone boom. And we're just talking, and Richie was on live ahead of us because that's what we do on our investigations. And all of a sudden you hear just like that. I'm like, what the hell is that? And you just listen. It's like, I never heard that before, but we caught it on our camera and audio. And so we have a friend of ours up in New Hampshire, and he's been reaching out to Richie about his encounters up in New Hampshire, way up in New Hampshire, and we sent him that video, and he goes, "That's so funny. I have the same thing going on up here, the same humming." I looked at Richie. I go, "No way that these hums are a common thing in
Right.
the big world." And so we've been having series of that. Yeah, we also found, we casted a print, which is, I want to say between like a toddler, juvenile, is like a size 8 by 8 inches long, 3 inches wide in the ice.
Oh, wow.
So my friend Darren, one of my best friends, he came up for the second time because he enjoyed. We brought him in the woods, and he's blown away by all the tree structures, all the sounds in the woods, all the whooping. Well, he came with us, and we had ice and snow. We had a storm, and you could see where on the ice that where it froze over. When you put your print in it was in a bog. And in the bog, when you lift up your foot, it's still black, but it must have been slushy at the time. You can see where as he lifts up its foot, the snow would slide off its toes. So it's maybe about an inch from the top of the footprint frozen over. But Darren found these prints, and so we used our dental casting. It froze over, so I grabbed a hand torch. That took forever, but I'll tell you, you can see. Well, I'm going to use my hand for example. So you get the lines of the padding towards the toes, and that's
Right.
what we pulled up exactly like that. You can see the padding of their feet. It was just exhilarating. And then to jump ahead, we found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of yards of tracks, which we never find. And so we've been going to the same area, Sean, now for about a good 9 months. And with these type of results where you're building a relationship. For all you folks out there, Sean knows, so sorry if I'm a little tongue-tied because my thought process is everywhere.
You just take your time, brother. Take your time.
Well, so we have what you call we have a gifting chair. I'm sure everyone's got a gifting stump or a gifting rock. Well, we found a metal chair in the middle of these woods, so we've been using it as a place to give them gifts. We've been giving them like what you call these zingers, which is like it's a pastry that's like a Twinkie. It's raspberry coated with coconut and it's got vanilla cream. And we also put out peanut butter. And so now with the peanut butter, Sean, since the last time I spoke to you, I decided to. So what I do with the peanut butter, folks, is I know I'm jumping around, but I put the peanut butter on top of the cover, and I find a stick. A stick, it's like a little Y at the end, so as a spoon, because we're trying to wonder how that these jars are coming so clean. So that's the part of the research. And so we figured, well, if we leave them a stick, let's see if they're using a stick. Well, which we have been finding.
Okay.
And what they've been doing, Sean, with these sticks is that in the back of the chair, that I noticed I don't know, I think it was a few investigations ago, they've been stuffing the sticks behind, between the metal part of the chair and the little padding.
Right.
And it's pushed down. And that's kind of amazing because so they have their spoon, they're putting that away. I put like our friend, the Vogel brothers, they say, well, why don't you try to put some Vaseline around the jar? Maybe we can find like digits, catch some digits or fingerprints or maybe pieces of hair, which we have. We found some strands of hair. And I know everyone's going to say, well, did you send it out and get a DNA tested and all that stuff? Well, the hard part about the DNA out in this world today is that they are so behind because of COVID. You're talking about over a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's tough. So we've been finding strands of hair, but then on the past couple investigations, actually, I'll go back to the recent one, which is this past Saturday. Sean, we couldn't find the peanut butter jar for a while. And if you see on the chair, either there's a creek directly like straight ahead about 40 feet from the chair. Either they grab the wrappers or grab the jar, go to the creek and eat it there, or they'll eat it at the chair, or they'll eat it to the right side of the chair, never to the left and never behind the chair. Well, we were on live and we decided to get on the other side of the creek. There's a little water bridge. And so I just said, well, Richie, won't you go down the path and I'll meet you at the water bridge. And I'm going to kind of like go towards the creek and see if I can find the peanut butter jar. Well, he started walking, and then as I took 2 steps, I found it immediately underneath 2 logs.
Oh, wow.
Upside down, perfectly clean. And what they've been doing, I don't know what they've been doing with the Vaseline, but it just there's nothing on it. It's perfectly clean.
Do you think maybe they're putting it in the lake?
I thought of that. I thought of that. I think that possibly drinking it or.
Oh. Hold on 1 second, Wojo. Sure. Maybe Squats can help you here.
Yeah.
Squatsman says, I have several hair samples. I have a friend in Scotland that he sends his to.
Yeah, Squatchman, I'll tell you, love that guy. If anybody out there, I mean, Squatchman's a good man, good dude, and he knows his stuff. Yeah. So we've been having like a lot of fun with the peanut butter jars lately. We also have on our, we do have a satellite camera, which, look, Richie he put out his camera a long time ago, and he told me about how the lights, they see the lights, and they're not going to be, they'll detect the lights. You're not going to get anything. Well, just maybe about a month ago, we saw like 2 glowing, I don't know if they look like eyes glowing, that you can see in the very background, checking out the camera, just kind of like looking like this, kind of going side to side and backing off, which that could be possibly the juvenile trying to because you never know, you might try to find something to make mistakes. We don't know what it is, but
right.
Yeah, we've also had oh my gosh, well, we've been having communications where we had two tree knocks on our left and to our right, on an investigation where excuse me, I'm going to back that up before I explain that story, because we do have some audio. We have an audio of 3 Bigfoots talking. Our friend the Vogel brothers, that they know a linguistics guy, which and the linguistics guy was like really like blown away of the audio, and he says it's like high probability that you have severe Sierra sounds. So you can hear in the background heavy footsteps, Sean. It's like boom, boom, and you hear the pitch, woo, like the frequency go up in the air, and then all of a sudden you hear the footsteps. And you can hear one in the distance go, whoa. And then another one, it sounds like maybe his head's turning or something, because it's a little faint, but it's like, ha. But there was one right by the chair, because we have a recorder that's on a freak mount, which is a magnet, and we have it magnetized underneath the chair. And he was right by the chair when this all happened. He had blah, blah. So back to me and Richie communicating with the tree knocks, is that I would go, whoa, and Richie would go, blah, blah. And then you hear this. Now we're hearing soft taps now. Knock, knock, like that. You got it on the right side. And then like 15 seconds later, the left side. And listen, when you're on the woods and you start hearing things like that, you know there's more than one,
Right.
and which is pretty amazing because you're being flanked, and but when you building up this type of relationship on, um, what we do is leaving them gifts, and we're just doing our investigation. We're talking to them, trying to be even keeled of whoever we're talking to. And again, it's all about the research. It's like the Jane Goodall, being out
Hmm.
with the gorillas and trying to communicate. And
Right. Now, C believes in them. She really does.
yeah,
Squatsman says they circle you with opposite knocks and the whoops. They travel in tribes. Sam's in the house. Mish is in the house. Everybody just coming in right now. We got Mr.Wojo as the guest with Boots on the Ground with Richie B, Mr.Wojo. And, it's like we're just having so much technical problems that please bear with us. If you hear crickets in the back, God only knows what the hell that is because everything's going wrong.
Sean, show we just had a show this past Saturday. We were hearing like locusts or something. It just sounds like
Yeah.
Like what is going on?
Yeah, that's what people are saying in the chat. It's like the locusts are coming. Is it one of the signs of the apocalypse? Who knows? I don't. Sam says it's okay, Sean. It's still on an awesome show. Thank you, Sam, very, very much. Yeah, so let's think. Instead of having music behind us during this conversation, my friend, we got locusts.
Yeah, we have locusts. I mean, I don't know what's going on in the technical world. I mean, I'm sure people have 5-year-olds on their phones right now. I mean, it's just so much going on with computers today. So back to the Bigfoot. So again, like we've. I'm just trying to think since the last time we spoke to you, and
The last time we spoke, we were talking about the gifting chair and how you were starting to do the peanut butter. But
yeah,
the big question I want to ask you, I had Donna Copus on at the beginning of the month, and there's a couple things I want to tell you what she said. Do you know they are called the Watchers? According to she's with I forget what Indian tribe she's from, but they're called the Watchers. Right.
yeah.
She also told us that also they do travel in different packs, you know, different. I mean, you know what I mean? And but she also talked about the humming, and I want to get your opinion because I really tried to look into and study and not study, but try to research with the humming bit. You know what I mean? The different frequency. I cannot. I cannot. Donna Copus. Thank you, Tim. I can't find anything that gives me any more evidence why the humming. What's your and Richie's thought?
Well, I believe it's part of the Sierra Sounds. Because off in the distance, you can hear these dogs, yelping. I believe it's a form of communication. I, I would just say that it could be a form of communication where they're communicating with each other. Could be, in harmony, like
Okay, all right.
that's where I'm that's where I'm at as of like it's definitely part of the Sierra Sounds, and I think it's just a form of communication, John. Um,
Okay.
uh, we've heard it multiple times. So now I'll give you an example. So we did a night investigation, and in the night investigation, we call our area the Farley because it's down by the river. So this
Right.
is that we go, and we've been getting a lot of knocks and whoops and
Hmm.
well, anyways, as we approached, all of a sudden it was a buzz. It was like a bloop, a buzz. Something threw a massive rock um, right by us in the river, and it was heavy because again, it's the sound and just the splash. I know that certain people ask me, well, that could have been, beaver or whatever, slapping its tail. No, that's topside. This is deep, and then the air forcing back up the pockets.
Okay.
They threw approximately 4 rocks in the same exact spot. I was kind of like, I don't know if I see like something shining, giving a glow near the water. It's hard to tell because the adrenaline's kicking in because I'm trying to think, what did we do to upset them? And so Richie goes, hey, it's okay. It's okay. All right. You know, we'll leave. Hey, just, stop what you're doing. We're just going to leave. And that's when it stopped. But, so just imagine you're by the river and you got like, it sounds like cannonballs, like, exploding in front of you. And we're like, wow, I think it's, it's their feeding time. This is their turf, obviously. And I think it's
Right. Right.
So as we were leaving, you can hear some thumps. I can see some glowing. I don't know. I don't know. It's something glowing like eye shine or whatever in the woods. But we heard the thumping, and then when we decided to go, when we went down to this other path. Just imagine we're all together now. All of a sudden, like that, right? I'll tell you, it went right through you. And when I mean
Wow.
right through you, folks, it's that force of energy that your body's shaking. I'm sorry, but Richie turns around and he goes, what the hell was that? And I just stood there stunned. I'm like, dude, I don't know I mean, we know what it was, but it's that, So
That's
that's
crazy.
the loudest hum, but it had such energy behind it because my friend Darren was with me, Lisa. I mean, they never felt like anything like that ever, and it was pretty exhilarating. But you can hear, whoops in the background as we're walking out, and we're saying goodbye. We just walk right out, and you don't run, you don't panic, because I believe that they do. Uh, they do read your energy and um, your demeanor, and so that's a good example of the hums. And
Okay. How's the UFO activity around the area?
I haven't heard much. I'm not on the. There's like
Hey, Donna, good to see you. There she is.
yeah, there's a community page in the Bridgewater Triangle. For all you, um, we research in what you call in southeastern Massachusetts called the Bridgewater Triangle. In the Bridgewater Triangle, well, it's like other triangles around with high energy, and you have paranormal, UFO, Puckwudgies, and we're dealing with Bigfoot. And but so far I haven't heard anything to that yet. Sean.
If you're in the triangle, could it be other type of cryptids out there making noise? Just asking for a friend, buddy.
Well, so we do have our Native American brothers and sisters that around the country that we talk to a lot. And yes, they say that there is a dog man out there, which, again, that's kind of like, whoa. They believe that there's a clan of 10 in our area. And look, when you have a medicine, someone that's like very spiritual, what have you, I'll tell you right now, Sean, they're spot on. Because they're not with us. They just watch through our phone. But even though things that happened before they got onto the line,
Right.
For example, all right, I'm explaining about some structures out here that's unexplained. And I was talking to some people from France because they didn't know what tree structures are. And I looked over and I see Richie, and Richie's, meditating by a tree. And I go, "You good?" "Yeah, I'm good." But I never showed my phone over there. And well, my friend Mama Bear Claw, she's like, "Is Richie all right? Why is he by the tree?" I'm like, "Richie, here, take the phone." How does she know?
Donna says that she has 8 clans where she lives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so Donna, the thing about like we talk about is like communication and being that good neighbor, try to be their friend. And we do a lot of hand signals that I just point to my chest, point to them, it's okay. And that's when it was getting dark out. It was getting dark out before we saw these, glowing shine, like the shining of, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if they're eyes or what, but whatever's out there is tall. It's just the lights are tall. But anyways, I was away from Richie, and Richie was with the group because he's the only one with the flashlight because we'd expect to be out that long. And my flashlight died. But I went further than him, and I can hear movement to my left, movement to my right. I'm like, well, I know they're here. I was a little nervous, but then I thought of my friend Ernie Davio, who has had an encounter, and I just gave these hand signals like, hey, it's okay. We're just here to be your friend.
Right.
Before we walked out of the woods, and all of a sudden I could just see all these like shines everywhere. I could hear them. I could hear movement. I can hear sticks break. I see like really, really low to the ground, like maybe like 3 to 4 feet. You see the 2 dots, and then all of a sudden it goes up to like over 8 feet. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, Richard just stood up, whatever it is." And we'll just sit there and hey, it's okay. We're just your friend, and but we do have one of those eye shines on our camera.
Right.
I will show you on the side.
Do you have you noticed if they are coming closer to you and Richie, or are they about where they're at? They won't come no closer to you guys.
Well, I think that they are closer. They're closer. I believe, and I know I've been told that. Look, when we go out and do our investigations, we do go on live. We want to show our passion, the protection and the love for these people, these forest people. But when you have your devices on, Sean, they won't reveal themselves unless you turn everything off. I believe it will happen, and we'll probably wait for that moment where, what, we'll do our research like we normally do, and just no GoPros, no nothing, no phones. and see what happens. And the reason why I believe they're closer too is that when we walk in the woods, I mean, you can already hear them communicating. You can hear whoops from, um, well, like in my area, my end, and then you can hear from way, further down into the woods, and
Okay.
and you can hear them. They're already like walking in the woods when we're by the gifting chair checking things out. You can hear them move, and which is cool because we're sitting there, Satanye, yay, greetings.
Right.
That's how we are, you know. We're a couple of wild and crazy guys, but we're not going to change, And
Oh, no, you better not, man.
but if there is a moment where, again, like these rock throws that you know um, by the river, and they could be, I don't know, they could be taking a bath, or they could be like they're maybe they have their youngs there. I don't know, but hey, that's a warning. We back off. You never try to push, and so it's the respect.
Uh
Respect.
huh. Now, a lot of people I had on as guests this month, they experience getting gifts from the Bigfoot. Have you and Richie ever gotten gifts from them?
Receiving gifts. Oh, we found it was like again another piece of lichen, like a piece of moss. Um, they haven't really regifted, but here's the thing. So one time I have beach rocks, and I would set up these beach rocks with the zinger and peanut butter. One of the rocks was taken. I looked around everywhere. Where's this rock?
Right.
So we head towards like the creek area, and there's this really big blown down tree. Looked like something sat on it because the bottom exploded, and
Really?
you could see the zinger wrappers, and in the wrappers like a piece of cardboard, and you can see the little markings because it's like a part of the cake that's caked onto the piece of cardboard. They would put it towards their mouth and kind of scrape it, so you can see little teeth marks in there. But I know Richie noticed on the ground by this log was a piece of bark, and there was our rock, and it's right by the wrappers, and the rock was placed on top on perfectly on top of the bark, like saying, "Yes, it was me. Thank you." Just that's the only way I can possibly think of.
That's pretty cool. A lot of people usually get rocks and stuff stacked upon. Sam says she got a lollipop stick. Tim Vogel would like to know: have you gotten any glyphs, whatever glyphs are?
Glyphs are
Uh,
that the it's kind of like a marking of a territory where the so
okay.
chair is they did put a glyph there. So I moved the gifting chair several different points of the woods, and where it is now. When I placed that chair there, the following investigation, there was a big Y, and it was what they do, Sean, is they grab these branches and they stick them to the ground like between 5 to 2 feet, 5 inches to like 2 feet into the ground, and which is pretty like amazing. Um, so we've been finding glyphs out there, but we also been finding little X's on the ground right by the gifting chair. Now these little X's can be like either markings, but it's a sign of respect, of thank you.
Hmm.
Um, so our Native American friends, um, we had a discussion about that, and we were with the Vogels, Tim and Eric, and Eric was following. Looked like these saplings. It's like a tunnel. You could see them tied together on the top. And we brought our friend Brandy, and Randy's like into spirits come to her, what have you, and she's been feeling. She goes, I never felt energy like this in the woods, in any woods in my life. Yeah. Well, the locusts must have went away. So
He puts around, dude. That's what
so Eric was, and I was walking towards Eric, and I could see the tunnel, and then she's like, "Hey, what's this on the ground? There's these two X's." So it's like a sign of like respect.
Well, that's awesome.
So that's when we've been finding footprints, more prints, and we're getting the big guy. We had a print. I don't know. It's probably about maybe like 10 months ago. Well, when Richie's brother came up with his nephews, and they got a glimpse of the tree structures, but also the wood knocks and some whoops. We found a 18 inches by 8.25 inch wide.
Holy crap, man.
Wow. We only saw it the one time. Now we're seeing it a lot.
Are you? That's good. That means they're getting, to me, it seems like they're getting more relaxed to you guys. Heidi said, I would think them leaving footprints and other things you guys have experienced would be gifts to you. And Heidi also says, I would think that they know how not to be seen or any traces of them.
Yeah. Well, again, I think they will reveal themselves in time. And you look at people, friends out in the Bigfoot world. Well, how about that Squatch Man in his area?
Yeah.
You buy a campfire. You just sit there. He calls one Big Red. They're out there watching you.
Right.
You're sitting there having a good old time. Just like, hey Big Red, hey gang, whatever. It's that good neighbor.
Right.
And that's what we're building. And
that's all you can do, and it works. It really, really works. Like my motto, Wojo, is I will respect what you believe. Please respect what I believe. Exactly. And if you show them respect, okay, in return, they're going to respect you.
Exactly. And there's a few ideas I got going on that, again, see, Sean, you always have to think outside the box.
You got to.
You got to think outside the box. Like, all right, so I put out. I know, like most people don't like to do this, put food and things like that. It's just part of the research. It's not part of trying to screw them up and their diets and what have you. But you also, gifting rocks, things like that. If you don't do something out of the ordinary, whatever it is, I don't care if you give them like I don't know, like the spinning wheel, like, with the wind, I don't care if you give them one of those, because you know what? If you don't do anything, you're going to get 0%.
Right.
You try something crazy, you're going to get 0.01%. At least you're going to get something than nothing. If you don't try it, you never get results. So I guess is to do.
My friend, we got less than a minute left here. Okay, I'm going to ask you this question, and please answer it if you want to. If you find, how can somebody who's just learning how to investigate Bigfoot, what suggestions would you give them?
Have an open mind. Not everything's Bigfoot, but just have an open mind. And you know what? And if there is something out in these woods that you find that's unordinary, you know what? That's why you put boots on and
on the ground. Yeah.
Boots on the ground and spend that time in those woods. And that's what we're doing. And I know and a lot of the viewers who do their research are doing the same.
Exactly. Good. Thank you for that. Real quick, Donna, she makes homemade apple cake. I want to try some of that, man. I have to ask her to mail me some of that. Sounds like really.
What's your address?
Mr. Wojo, I am so sorry that Richie could not be on tonight, but
Yes,
you did an awesome job by yourself. I am going to later on in the year get you guys on again and see some more updates that you guys got going on. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, dude, for being on the show tonight. I appreciate that. You did a great job.
I would never let a friend down, you know. But
Awesome.
you got to come up here, Sean. We got to get your butt up here with the good weather.
No, I will definitely try to make it, sir. I'll try to make it. I want to thank everybody for joining in tonight, listening to me, Mr. Wojo. I hope you learned a little bit. And they will be on later on in the year. So, children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you don't have no parents and if you have no children, please find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them, because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. Don't forget, at 9:10, we got Miss C.L. Thomas, the Gateway Podcast, coming up. So if you ain't doing nothing, go over and show her some love. And on that note, see you guys Sunday. Thank you for everybody listening. Happy hunting.